Hey everybody, I hope you are well and enjoying the cleaner air today than we've had earlier in the week when we had some seriously smoky, both visually and literally smoky air in our area. Good to see that it's better today. Those of you who know my backgrounds know that I'm in Hartford today. I was here for a joint 3-committee hearing on a program known as LIHEAP, which stands for Low Income Heating Assistance Program. And we always meet on this in the summer because it's a federal block grant and we have to vote. All 3 committees have jurisdiction over it, and all 3 committees have to vote to accept the block grant and to spend it according to the legislative parameters. And it was an interesting. Sometimes it can be. Usually, this is a topic of great bipartisan support. And although sometimes the hearings are quite long because approaches are different, and we have to nail down some challenges that we've had in the past about how the pricing of energy, which is different in different regions of the state, and this year we've improved it to acknowledge that, to make sure that we have enough vendors that can actually provide this heating assistance to low-income people. On a hot summer day, talking about heating, we do have to think ahead. And today was, again, like the bipartisan support was clear, but of course, what we have to deal with is what's happening at the federal level. So back in the spring, the federal government fired everybody who administers the LIHEAP program in Washington. Everybody. So we all kind of don't know what that means. There was also a threat to entirely gut the system and eliminate the funding. That seems to have changed for the moment, but as we know, these are volatile issues, and once something is threatened, it remains threatened. We're continuing to operate as if we're going to get it because the signs seem to be better now, but we're not. We have a phone number and email that are the part of the administration that deals with this calls, but we're not really sure who picks up on the other end. So on the one hand, maybe this gives us the freedom to administer it, but a lot of chaos and a lot of unknowns. And I think everybody was worried about that, although how much people express about that is an open question. So I was also at, last weekend I attended a conference of an organization that I go to things pretty regularly. It's called NCSL, the National Conference of State Legislatures. And it's a bipartisan organization, which I value tremendously. And we had, I'm on a task force having to do with state and local taxation, and it's just always good to meet with colleagues of all, political stripes across the country and listen to the issues. There's a lot of common ground there that we're trying to work through. But one of the tricky things, of course, this year is going into that conference, the federal budget bill, the OBBB, as it's sometimes called, had recently been passed, and it has a lot of tax implications for states because many states have state laws that are aligned specifically with the federal government. So when the federal government makes a change, that automatically flows down to the state level. So but not all. Some states are coupled, it's called, with the federal government, and sometimes it's coupled at a moment in time. Sometimes it's dynamic and changes as the federal legislation changes, and sometimes we have decoupled from that. And so there's a lot to sort out. It's very complicated. And I think, at a moment when we just had the firing of the statistician from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which was challenging for all of us in the room, I think, because we're all numbers people, and we all rely on people who, have the background to do that kind of thing and can produce reliable numbers that, yes, do change over time and have to be corrected. So it's a little stressful, and sometimes that's hard, for a bipartisan organization. You want to work to find common ground, and there's lots of it. But I think I'm of the belief that when you found that common ground and worked on things, you have to use those relationships that you've built to have the difficult conversations. It's not a reason to not have those conversations. You got to have them rather than just find the things that we can all be on the same page about. So sometimes we did that and sometimes we didn't. So it's challenging. But before I went to the conference, there were tons of local events too. I got to go to the Litchfield County 4-H Fair. Elizabeth gave me a fabulous tour of all the exhibits, animals, crafts, vegetables, all kinds. And that is always a great deal of fun. There was a brand new store in Norfolk new bookstore in Norfolk that I went to in the midst of the weekend in Norfolk, which was packed with really fun events. An art fair in Sharon. The Lakeville Journal had their street fair filled with lots of nonprofits serving the entire region. And I got to catch up with a lot of people on a lot of issues. And that was really fun. It's nice to be back out there and not on crutches walking around. So this weekend is the same. There are lots more things coming up. In Kent Sidewalk Sale Days is coming up. And Taste of Cornwall is on Saturday. There is a ribbon cutting for affordable housing in Lakeville on Friday, which I'm also going to be there. So lots of things going on in town in August. The Northwest Corner is the place to be. So I hope to see you out there. Hope you have a great weekend.